Hello everybody, we will be asking Spirit just to give us some clarity for the situation. By us, I mean you. Anybody watching this. So this is a collective reading. And if you've never listened to a collective reading before, you may or may not feel drawn to this already from looking or from clicking into this video. You may already realize that you're not feeling drawn to this. You may wait until I have all the cards laid out. I won't be showing the cards until after they are already pulled. I have not pulled them yet. From this, I'm using this for the tarot, this for the oracle, and also this. Although I feel I will have to definitely pull more than one from that, but I'll only pull one from this. But yeah, collective readings are not for everybody if you don't feel drawn. And that just means this isn't for you. But please, Spirit, can you provide us with some clarity about this situation for the people watching? But as I was saying, you may not feel drawn now, or you may just want to wait until the cards are pulled. And then you can look at like the back of the cards and see if you feel drawn to them. You'll know what I mean when I'm done pulling the cards. I only feel like pulling a few cards here. That one for sure. Yeah. Some clarity for those watching. Just need one more card pulled. I feel like the two cards that were pulled will be enough information actually, but I'm asking Spirit please to provide another card anyway. I would appreciate it. Okay. Oh. Do any of you want to come out too? Okay, that one definitely does. Okay, so I guess there's 4. Okay. Maybe 5? No. No, I don't think that one. Okay. Put these right here. I might have to use the guidebook. Just because, yeah, like for example, if I were to pull, oh, top one was the Magician. Let's go like, that one is Death. If I were to, that one's the Hierophant. I'm looking for one of these. Yeah, I can see like the Magician, it says it. But it doesn't say what, this is obviously Cups. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, is that 10? Oh no, it is 9. 9 of Cups in reverse, but some of them it's like aren't as easy to read, if you get what I'm saying. Now let's pull from the Ancient Stones Oracle. Please, Spirit, can you pull a card of clarification? I actually feel like I might pull 2. Is that one of them? Yeah, I'll put it down. Then one more. These ones stick to each other more, so it can be a little bit more difficult. And yeah, like I said, I will read in the guidebook. Clarification for the people who are watching, please, Spirit. Sometimes I can feel when, you know, cards are, this actually happens quite often, when I feel cards are similar, but they're not the exact card that wants to come out. Whoa, okay, so definitely that one. Okay. Gaining clarity. Let's put these over here, and then actually I'll go through these cards for now, and then I will go through the oracle, or the angel answers oracle, sorry. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is go like this, okay? So you may or may not feel drawn to these cards. If you do not, then this just isn't the pick a card, or not pick a card, sorry. This isn't the collective reading for you, but if you do feel drawn to these cards and the messages I am about to relay, then you can keep listening. Okay. So we have the High Priestess, the Sun in reverse, King of Wands, and the Page of Wands. Okay, these are the cards that we have, and I really feel like with these messages I keep hearing your past does not define you, and with this High Priestess being here, especially next to the Sun in reverse, is very much giving Scorpio energy, where I'm hearing you're transmuting your pain, or you're transmuting your darkness into light. And it may not seem like it because the Sun is in reverse, but you're transmuting this darkness into light. Like you see, the moon is here and the sun is here. They're very polar opposite energies, but they're more alike now because this is in reverse, right? But yeah, it's like part of the clarity is how do I want to word this? Part of the clarity is understanding that not only does your past not define you, but things that happen in your past don't have to hold you back any longer. It very much gives the vibe of, like, if you were in a very crappy romantic relationship, for example, you may think you're very, you know what? No matter what the case is, I think a key thing is that a lot of you maybe feel very broken. And so it feels like you're having to put the pieces back together. And it feels like even though many of you have gone through the process of trying to heal and put the pieces of yourself that have been broken back together, it feels like you still might believe that you are not worthy or good enough, or that you're just too far gone, so that certain things aren't meant for you. So if it is a romantic relationship, maybe you feel you're too broken from that. You could feel like you aren't worthy of a romantic relationship because you're too hurt, you're too broken, and it maybe is hard for you to trust. That's a big thing as well, I think, for you all. Part of the clarity you need is that you need to distrust more. That, of course, doesn't mean distrust everybody. That doesn't mean trust everything. That doesn't mean be impulsive, right? But it means not only trusting your intuition, but logically taking risks in a way, because your intuition is here to guide you, right? So with using your intuition, you know what is right for you and what is wrong for you. And so if you are somebody who is afraid to take risks, that's part of this equation here. For part of the clarity you need is that you need to trust people more, like not only yourself, not only spirit, but people in your external world, okay? Within reason. Again, I'm not saying trust everybody. Trust people if you feel like you can trust them, or you can trust them, or that you can develop a trust with them over time. And you should take risks more. For some of you, I feel like you've maybe been sheltering yourself a bit, or maybe even if you're around people, you maybe don't show your true colors because you've maybe been told that the person you are and the person you always have been is like bad, right? Or unworthy. But a key thing to remember is that you are worthy of good things, and you're especially worthy of happiness. So to help do that, in order to turn this upright, you have to, first, I recommend journaling, but doing anything where you can express yourself. It could be creatively, it could be through your words, like with other people. I recommend a combination of many things, but now's the time to really focus on healing certain wounds about yourself that are holding you back, that are keeping you from taking risks, because you feel like the risks won't pay off, or that they will further you into despair is what I want to say. Like, you know, because sometimes if you take risks, it doesn't always pay off, and then it could also lead to consequences. Spirit is saying even if that has happened in the past, that doesn't necessarily mean it will happen. But also, even if there are consequences for certain actions that you take during this time, for some reason, Spirit is saying that's part of your truth, is taking risks, having consequences, good and bad, everything in between. And that is part of your journey and part of your truth. A lot of you, Spirit is saying, with taking risks as well, you have to just be less afraid. That means don't overthink. There's also a Virgo energy coming through. I know this is Leo, but it could be a little bit Leo, but I'm mainly getting Virgo energy too right now, where you maybe overthink things, which is also why it's hard for you to take risks. Spirit is saying don't be afraid to take risks, even if it is difficult, even if there are certain like repercussions or consequences. Spirit is saying that in the end it will be worth it. Take calculated risks, trust your intuition to know what risks are worth taking and which ones are not, and if there are consequences, which ones you are okay with handling. I'm also getting visuals of, like, you know, there's certain people who go to protests, and sometimes they get to be ruled like unlawful protests. If you go to one of those, but you know, like, if it's deemed like unlawful at a certain point, or maybe like right away, it's like this isn't like police or whatever deem it as an unlawful protest. Maybe in that kind of example, right, you'd be like, okay, well, I still feel like this is something I need to stand up for and protest, so I will still be here even if I end up getting arrested or pepper sprayed or handcuffed, or excuse me, or have hand ties put on me, maced, things like that. So it's calculated risks. It seems like I think that's a really good example, because there will be something unfavorable that's likely to happen with you taking risks, even if it just means mainly that you'll be uncomfortable, right? It doesn't have to mean anything physically happening or externally. Maybe it's just that it's hard for you to get out of your shell in certain areas of your life, so it's just you feel very uncomfortable or very out of place, or something's new for you, or it's been a while doing something and you're like, ugh, I don't know if this is for me. So Spirit is saying to not give up, to trust the process, to be patient as well. And with patience, doing things that make you uncomfortable or even upset at first, transmuting that into something that makes you happy, turning the darkness into the light. It's just the best way I can describe that. And then with these cards here, I love these cards. Look at this. Page of Wands and the King of Wands. Also, these are all major arcana cards, so this is a very important lesson. So I feel like you've maybe had to repeat this kind of cycling before in your life, or you've been confronted with this type of energy before quite often. I mean, a lot of us have in many ways this type of energy. You had to confront it, but anyway, this is Spirit saying with the Page of Wands upright and the King of Wands upright, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. This further indicates you need to be willing to take risks. This further indicates that through your healing, you are able to actually like progress further in your goals through healing yourself, and through doing things that scare you, through changing the chemistry of your brain to not be scared of something anymore. Like, seriously, because over time, it's like a habit. For example, some of you maybe are even tackling bad habits right now. So the clarity you could need is that tackling a bad habit, tackling this negative thought that you have, whatever it is, tackling this thing transmutes to positive energy, and that puts you in a receptive state. That also, with you being less scared to do things, I'm also seeing that you will do things you never thought you could do with this. Doing things you never thought you could do, or that you thought never were possible for your life. Wands energy is also very much related to moving. If you have questions related to, I don't know, this is very much giving the energy of like starting over, starting fresh. So I think a lot of you, through this healing that you do, you'll realize that at the end of these different stages of this healing process, we're always healing and changing, right? But at the end of certain stages, you will realize, oh, I'm not the person I used to be. I'm not interested in the things I used to be interested in. Like, you'll very much change as a person. And so with these cards as well, it's just like you're embarking on a new journey. So for some of you, this could mean literally physically moving. For some of you, it gives the energy of traveling. But even more than traveling, it feels like more permanent. So that's why I'm saying it feels like you could be moving somewhere. If you're thinking of moving somewhere, this is a very good indication. Very, very strong indication. If that's the clarity you need to move or like go elsewhere, or to like switch jobs, like anything where you have to switch or change things up. Taking the risk, doing something different. Spirit is saying that is a major point of clarity that a lot of you need. So yeah, don't be afraid to do all of that. And I think I covered everything I needed to with the tarot cards. It took longer than I wanted to, but also for some reason, okay, I went over here and I looked at the deck of cards again, and I felt like pulling the top card as well. And so I feel like I need to highlight this first. It says pave your own way, leadership, courage, forge, don't follow. So I'm really glad. I mean, those wands, King of Wands, Page of Wands energy very much indicate this. So don't, if part of the clarity you're thinking about is, should I follow, again, a similar path to those around me, or the path that's already laid out in front of me, if there's an option where you get to do something yourself, or you get to do something that's very different, Spirit is saying to do that. So I just felt like throwing that in there. I don't even know if I'll have time to really read. I mean, I have time, I guess, but okay, let me go to this one first. Singing stones, transmit your vibration, use your voice. Yeah, I'll just read in here then for that. Oh, pave your own way. I flipped right to that. So maybe Spirit wants me to read this too. So pave your own way. I'll read from the other card first. Leadership, courage, forge, don't follow. Pages 108 and 109, just in case if those are important numbers for you. The Giant's Causeway is a captivating ancient volcanic formation in Northern Ireland that's cloaked in many a myth. One story speaks of the giant Finn MacCool, who created it as a bridge to Scotland so he could fight another giant named Benandonner. Pave Your Own Way is a card of boldness and leadership. It's one that invites you to do things in your own way and to bravely go where perhaps no one else has gone before. Exactly. Maybe you're the first person, the first one in your family system to do something new. Perhaps you're the black sheep of the flock. Embrace your uniqueness, journey courageously into the unknown, and do it in a way that only you can. Yeah, so if other people hold judgment about you, the Sun in reverse could also indicate other people dimming your light, like external people. So Spirit is saying to not do that, to focus on what makes you happy, but also just like what encourages you, what feeds your spark and your passion. How are you being called to step forward and lead? What kind of leader do you wish you'd had while you were growing up? What kind of leader do you wish you had now? How can you be that for yourself and others who are just like you now? What new places, yes, are you being called to explore? What are you being called to do differently? How can you refrain from following others, step out of the box, and lead? That's all exactly what I've been saying. Soul inquiry. If you were feeling bold and courageous, what would you do? Wow, that's quite literally perfect for summing up everything I've been saying. Okay, let's go now to, where are you? There we go, Singing Stones. Transmit your vibration, use your voice, pages 126 and 127. 27 is a very powerful number of change as well. You think about like Saturn. Some people say it starts at 27, more so starts at 28, but anyway. Saturn return, that's what I meant to say. In world mythology, there are many stories in which sound, song, and vibration are mysteriously connected to the stones. Some myths speak of certain stones having the power to tone or make musical sounds when they are struck or rubbed together in the right way. And others tell of stones that create enchanted echo chambers when activated by the voice. Other stories feature stones that sing, saying that they are imbued with the memories of the ancients who once were connected to them. Some believe that the world's great megalithic stone circles were erected with the vibration of sound and song. Then, of course, there's the exquisite reverberation that occurs when we gather and sing together inside stone temples. The Singing Stones card invites you to share your voice now, to find ways to express your soul and creativity with those around you. Your voice holds a unique sound current, and when you share it in your own way, the world is forever changed. Don't try to sound like anyone else, for that would be a great waste. Find your own unique song and share that with the world around you. How are you being called to share your voice and express your unique song right now? How are you being called to express yourself with the world and those around you? It's soul inquiry. How are you being called to share your voice or transmit your vibration in a big way? That's the thing. Spirit doesn't want you to be afraid to use your voice. And I was getting a lot of like throat chakra energy as well with the cards. Part of stepping outside your comfort zone is being able to speak your truth. And I talked about getting closer to, I didn't word it like this, but it's also like not only trusting other people, but living in your own truth as well. Like I said, it's not just other people, not just spirit, also yourself. Trusting yourself. That's also why the High Priestess is there. Just don't be afraid to use your, I feel like you could have a closed throat chakra. So don't be afraid to use your voice and to say things that other people are too afraid to say, or to say things even if you know that others will disagree. That doesn't mean you have to get into a fighting match with people, but if people are saying things that are like putting you down, you can use your voice and stand up for yourself and be like, and like, I see you being a warrior for yourself and like protecting and shielding yourself. It's like, no matter what, you are there for yourself. So if other people are trying to put you down, you can be like, well, I believe in what I'm doing. And you hold power in your voice. And with confidence, also working with your solar plexus chakra located over your stomach. If you're like, I believe in what I'm doing, and you don't have to understand. I don't even get you can use your voice without having to even explain or over explain. Just be like, I believe in myself. You can believe it or you don't have to, because the Wands energy is like, you are going to do what you're going to do no matter what others say. It's about what you say, using your own throat chakra energy. Okay. And yeah, so here's again singing stones, and then not forgotten. Messages from Spirit, Unbroken Connection, pages 102 and 103. Stones are among the longest lasting materials on this planet, so it's no wonder that for millennia we've used them to honor the memory of departed loved ones. Sorry, my inside of my lips felt dry. I'm like, ew, blah. Okay. From marking their burial place with a gravestone to placing pebbles as an act of remembrance. The grief that follows a death is like no other. We are hurtled into the truth that we, like all of life, are impermanent and that our time here is but a breath in the lifespan of an ancient stone. Some of the clarity that y'all need, I mean, the High Priestess is here, and then we have Not Forgotten, Messages from Spirit, and using your voice. Some of you, the clarity, that you need is that you need to speak more with your guides. If you want certain things to happen, but you're not communicating with your guides, there can be that disconnect, and so then things maybe aren't happening in a certain way for you, or maybe there's like, part of the trusting in spirit is like trusting that they are not trying to hurt you, right? So if you say something like, oh yeah, can you please do this for me, Spirit, but you're not believing in it, part of this truth that you need for this clarity is believing, even if things are difficult, and even if like your faith or whatever wavers, still having trust, faith, and belief that things will work out. But that also means you can't only talk to Spirit when you're like, I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't only talk to Spirit when you're like, I'm really mad that this happened and like I blame you, right? There has to be more of a relationship there. If you are more open to, like, even if it's something like for a minute a day, you're just like, at the end of the day, you're telling your guides, or you're telling a passed on loved one, even your higher self, right? Like your ancestors, if you're telling these people, any and all of these people, passed on pet, right? If you're telling them about your day, ooh, you know what I just got the visual of? It would be a really good idea if you don't have like an altar, to have an altar for like, especially I'm getting more familial ancestor type vibes, but having an altar of any kind, going there for a minute a day, like maybe at night or in the morning, especially at night though, I'm getting like, you're talking about your day, and doing that also helps you use your voice to also not only talk with Spirit about your frustrations or the things you're happy about, but also it gets you to understand when you're, I'm seeing you especially talking out loud, not just thinking in your head, talking out loud, you're then dissecting your day, or you're dissecting certain things that have been going on in your life, and then speaking it out loud. It's like, oh, now I get why this happened, or oh, now I understand why this person was upset with me. You know, I just see you getting clarity yourself more by speaking out loud, talking yourself through problems. That's going to be very important for you all, okay? And with Spirit, you can do that as well. When you receive this card, it could be a sign of your bond to a loved one who has passed, an unbroken connection that lasts beyond this lifetime. Do you long to communicate with a loved one who has died? This card is a sign. Sorry, it's making it hard. It's like making my lips stick to my teeth, because it's like dry on the inside, because I'm all my yapping. Okay. An unbroken connection that lasts beyond just this lifetime. Do you long to communicate with a loved one who has died? This card is a sign that you can continue to do so now. Speak to them throughout the day and be open to receiving messages from them. They may be subtle, but if you stay open, you may be surprised. There's a particular person you've been longing to connect with. Receiving this card is a way of them acknowledging your request. If this is new to you, consider ways you can nurture your connection with them. Perhaps put some time aside to light a candle and commune with them, or ask them to send you a sign and be specific about what that sign will be. Be open to this connection growing over time. I think some of you maybe have been missing some signs that Spirit has been sending you as well, but soul inquiry. Is there a loved one who's passed who you long to connect with? Take this card as a sign of your love and connection with them, to them. And also, if any of you are worried about, like, if you're doing something that your loved one that's passed wouldn't approve of, know that from the other side, they are cheering you on, even if they were still alive, if they wouldn't have approved of it. Like, I think of this with my ancestors long ago. It's like, I'm bisexual and I'm non-binary. How would they, who never would have met them long ago ancestors, how would they feel about who I am now? And you have to think, in the human life, maybe they wouldn't have accepted me, but in spirit realm, things are a lot different. They want to, generally speaking, if they are a good spirit and they are trying to evolve and grow, then they are likely to be accepting of you, especially if you're just coming from a place of love and joy and like being in authenticity yourself. Then Spirit is saying there's, like, that's a good, beautiful thing. So don't worry about what ancestors or family members would have thought when they were alive, because it's likely they're more accepting now in the spirit realm anyway. Okay, am I able to get like a time frame? There's only some time frame cards in this, but like a certain time frame or anything that would be important for the people listening here, Spirit, before we head out. Again, this isn't only about time frame. Okay, but this popped up though. Not the right time. Interesting. Can I get some clarification on that? Not the right time for what? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, so I just think Spirit is saying you're not on the most stable footing right now. So what you need to do in order to put this upright, there's things that are keeping you almost stuck in a way. And a lot of it, I think, is, I don't want to say a lot of it is self-imposed, but even if other people are saying things, then obviously, like to you, then obviously it's affecting you and your psyche and your subconscious. I think there's a lot of subconscious conditioning that you need to reverse. And also, I think a lot of you need to speak more kindly to yourself as well. Speak more kindly to other people. I think a lot of the people who are listening to this could have suppressed anger. And that doesn't mean, like, you could have a lot of suppressed anger, but that doesn't mean you ever, like, yell at people, right? But maybe it's like you go about your day and you realize that there's a lot of things that get you extremely angry, right? So think about the things, whatever it is that get you really angry, that you don't need to always be angry over, that you can let go. Not everything needs to be a big deal. Also think about the things, like how you can ground yourself better, how you can talk to yourself more kindly, even to other people more kindly. But it just feels like, yeah, there's this stuckness. Also, the stuckness of not being willing to put yourself out there and try new things. So Spirit is saying, this isn't saying this is not saying that it's not the right time to do new things, but it's not the right time to, like, if there's certain goals you have, if there's certain things you want to do, it could, you know what? This could also, oh, sorry, there's so many messages coming through here right now. So this could indicate it's not the right time to do or to achieve something, right? Because it's like, you need to take baby steps there, or you need to, there's certain things, there's certain personal things you need to attack before you can attack physical things in the physical realm. So like, work on healing yourself, as I was saying before, work on getting things unstuck, and then things will naturally unfurl for you. Things will naturally flow to you. You'll get ideas of what to do next. But a lot of it stems from being more grounded and rebalancing your chakras is what I'm hearing. I feel like I should pull another card from here. Let's see what else it says. Whoa. No need to worry. Okay, perfect. This one flew out. There's no need to worry. You just need to have time to be patient with yourself, and also realize that, like, healing is not linear. But if you're worried about things in life, Spirit is saying, by working on yourself, I'm seeing things in your external naturally. Also, things that are problems now in your external world, you'll realize through healing yourself, it's like, oh, that isn't even a thing. Like, I don't even care about that. Why did I ever care about that? It's very much that. And then the things that you do still care about, it's like, okay, I'll just work on putting my passion or energy toward that, or whatever it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I was not planning on filming for this long, but yeah, hopefully it was helpful. And let me know if this resonates with you. You can comment again in the future how you're doing under this video if you'd like, or yeah, you can just comment right away and like, yeah, this resonates. Anyway, thank you again, and goodbye.